concerns about the Golden State Warriors. In my predictions video, I said they would have the best record in the NBA, well, at least the Western Conference. I didn't really say who would have the best record in the NBA, but I had them on top of the top of the West in my predictions, and I think that's, at 3-5, and seeing how they're playing and just, getting the feel for everything, Klay Thompson getting his legs and everything, I think that's, I don't think that's going to happen in terms of them having the best record in all of in the Western Conference. I think the days of the Warriors being at the top of the West with 65, 67 wins and things like that, I think those days are long gone. And that's not a knock. That's not a bad thing. It just goes to show how much they've accomplished in the last 8 years. And, well, even if you go back to their run that started in 2013 when they made it to the playoffs for the first time with Steph. When they beat Denver in the first round and the Spurs in the second, but that's not the point. But it just goes to show how much they've accomplished. But when I look at them now, I think they are a team who are playing for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? The playoffs is where we really judge them. They've been at that point where the playoffs is where they get judged. But in terms of just like getting through the regular season, 3-5 is not a concern in terms of, are they going to make the playoffs? Of course they're going to make the playoffs. The concern is, number one, their defense. Their defense has been horrible. I don't know what has happened, but this used to be a team that was, they were focused when it came to defense. They wouldn't giving up, points like this. The only time they were really giving up points at the rate they're giving them up now is those 2 years when Klay Thompson was out. Because remember, it was like every other game it seemed like they were getting blown out, especially the first season without Klay, and KD was gone as well. KD was on another team, but Klay was injured. But we know they caught fire during that play-in year when they lost in the play-in tournament. They caught fire towards the end of the year, but they were getting blown out, and it felt like a record pace. And this is what their defense, is starting to look like. But it just goes to show just how good they are, because they're still in a lot of these games. They're still in these games. Even though they're giving up points offensively, they still have it. Steph is fine. And which brings me to point number 2, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole has not been good. He has not been good. Again, 8 games. It's early. They got Orlando tonight in Orlando, favored by like 9. So this is the game for them to just, because even though we know they'll be fine, you still don't want to be losing. You still don't want to be trying to climb constantly at the point to where you're trying to get over 500 and you're trying to separate the wins and losses. Because if you continue to play mediocre, it could get to a point to where that becomes your identity. That just becomes who you are for the season. We saw that happen to the Lakers. We've seen that happen to teams who come in with expectations and just underachieve. But Jordan Poole has been terrible. They had some talks about the carrying call. He got called for travel 4 times in the game against, who was that, Miami? He got called for that. I've never seen a player get called for traveling 4 times. I don't even know if I've ever seen a team get called for traveling 4 times in a game, but let alone a player. He got called for traveling 4 times in a game, and I've never seen that. But yeah, that's a concern right now. Klay Thompson coming out, he's expressing his disappointment and how heartbreaking it was to hear Charles Barkley say he'll never be the same two-way player again, which is true. I mean, I don't know why Klay is tripping on that. Klay has a jump shot. Klay can still shoot the ball. And that's the one thing, same thing with Ray Allen. Ray Allen used to be a very explosive player. Used to be able to dunk like crazy. But when Ray Allen lost that athleticism, he could always fall back on that jump shot. Look at Russell Westbrook. He no longer has that ability to do what he used to do, and he was also never a great shooter. So he doesn't really have anything that's going to give him the longevity because he's not a good shooter. He's playing good the last 3 games, Russell Westbrook, but the point is about the shooting. He was never a great shooter, but he was always explosive and athletic, could get to the basket. But Klay Thompson, I don't know, he keeps talking about give him some time. Give me some freaking time, man. I'm like, dude, you in your mid 30s now, bro. You're not getting that back. Them 2 years, those injuries, plus the age, and plus always making it to the finals, that takes a toll, man. Those are the sacrifices you make. It got cold in here. Those are the sacrifices you make to be at the top of basketball royalty. Like I said, I think it was I don't think he should have been left off the top 75 player of all time. I definitely think Klay is a top 75 player, but sure in 25, 24 years, he'd be in the top 100 players of all time. But yeah, those are just some little Warrior concerns right there. Defensively, let's see what Orlando does tonight. I haven't seen Orlando play this year, but I think I'll be watching that game. I think I'll be watching that game and watching Orlando for the first time. Let's see how many points the Magic can score. Let's see the Warriors' defense. Let's see Jordan Poole. This should be a game where Steph emphasized Jordan Poole going out to go get 30 points. But we'll see what happens. Again, they the defending champs, so everybody's gunning for them. Everybody's waking up to play them. They're going to get everybody's toughest. Especially these young teams who are not going to make the playoffs, or in some cases probably not going to make the playoffs. Orlando, not a play-in or play-out team. So they beat the Warriors. This is like a championship celebration for them, and that's not a bad thing for them. So we'll see what happens with the Magic. Warriors against the Magic tonight. What time is that game? Also got some Thursday night football. Texans and Eagles tonight. Fantasy football, I got Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders. So I'm looking for them to get me some big money points tonight so I can climb up in the points chart. Like I said, in my fantasy league, I'm in second place, but I'm like 6 or 7 in points scored. Not good. I've been getting by, but hopefully my guys can, because the Eagles, of course, should win this game, but this can also be a game where it's like one that's closer than we think. They are. I think Vegas has them favored by like 13. So this could be one where it's closer, where they don't put up the points you think they're going to put up in terms of the team and the players in fantasy football. But the Warriors, only 2 games on tonight. Warriors Magic, Nuggets Thunder. Warriors Magic is at 4 p.m. So I'll be watching that game to see what Golden State looks like. We might be, probably give a fantasy update later. But hopefully the Eagles can pile on the points on the Texans tonight for my sake in fantasy football. Plus the Eagles were my pick to win the East, the NFC East, so they're going to win the game. I'm not worried about that. But please don't let this be like one of them Thursday night games to where they could have very well lost the game and it's closer than we think and they have to struggle to find the end zone and things like that. I do not want that for my fantasy football sake. But yeah, that's it. I had to express a little bit of that. Appreciate y'all for taking this time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see you soon.